Hi, I'm going to do a video on taking out and putting back, maybe replacing your end pin fitting. And I'm doing this for some customers, but I thought I'd share it with everybody out there because it might come in handy. What we have to do in order to take the end pin fitting out, which is not just the end pin, but this part that's in the cello, you actually have to take the strings down and the tailpiece down, drop the bridge, and you know, that should be fine 9 out of 10 times. It'll be fine, there won't be any event, but there's that one time where the sound post might be a little loose, you know, weather or time or what have you, and it might fall. And if that falls and you're not equipped to set it, it's really something that a luthier should do. You could crack the top if you try to set your sound post yourself and you don't know what you're doing, so I don't recommend doing it yourself. So what we can do to detension these strings and probably ensure that the sound post doesn't fall is I'm going to show you how to strap it. You could, if you had a second person with you, you could give some pressure to the sound post area. You really want to stay away from the wings of the F-holes and things like that. But the do-it-yourself way is I'll take this strap and I've got a loop tied on one end. I'm going to do sort of like what they call a trucker's hitch. And what I really want to do is go underneath. That was for demonstration. So I'm underneath the strings, and I'm just going to cinch it. I don't want to push any weight around the F-hole area, so you have to be very careful about that. And I'm just going to cinch it down and tie a half hitch, and then so it has some pressure on it. And then to sort of focus the pressure in the sound post area, I'll sort of put something soft underneath. So normally it'll be even tighter than that. I'm not really worried about it falling. So what we'll do now, before we detension the strings, we want to put something underneath the tailpiece so it doesn't scratch when we drop it. And I'll start releasing the strings. We'll go ahead and remove the bridge, set it aside. The strings are loose. I'm going to go ahead and wrap them up. Take the tailpiece off. I'll put it in another place so it doesn't scratch the cello. Usually just a light twist, it will release this and pull the fitting out. So I'm going to replace it with one of these fittings from New Harmony. There's 3 sizes. There's a small, medium, and large. 23.5 millimeters, 25.5 millimeters, and 27.5 millimeters, I believe. I'm going to try medium because that's the most common size. It's around 25 millimeters. On this cello, it's a little bit big. If you're replacing an end pin fitting and you already know what the size is, then that's obviously going to make life a little easier. So the small is too loose. You don't want that. And that's the large. It obviously is not going to fit. And so the medium is just slightly too big, so it needs to go down another 1/2 inch. So this will require some reaming. So when you have to enlarge the hole to fit an end pin fitting, you'll be using this tool, which is a reamer, end pin reamer. And it can still steer, so you do want to make sure that you're straight in line both with the center of the cello and also upward and downward. So you have to pay attention to those 2 directions when you're cutting. You want to check it frequently to make sure you don't enlarge it too much. And so now I've really only got a couple turns. You don't need it to go sit all the way against the cello body. It's better if you give it a little bit of space. This didn't need a lot of reaming. It was close already. And I'm going to probably call that good in case that block dries out and then the fitting fits deeper. There you go. Well, it's in there now and it's ready to be set up. So we just reverse the process. And you could probably also get more information from my video on setting up a bridge. I go into a lot of detail with that video, so if you need more information on how the bridge should look when you're setting it up, that'd be a good resource, because I'm not going to get into those details right now. So we have to turn this so that you have to make sure that the this cord is in the right place on the end pin, and you'll want to check it a couple times because sometimes it jumps out of its track when you're setting this up. Get a little tension on there. I start with the C and the A strings because they're the closest to the bottom of the peg box. And then I'll check the cord that's going around the end pin one more time, make sure it didn't move. And we'll, at this point that I got two strings on there, I can get the bridge back in place, centered between the notches and lined up with the fingerboard. I'm going to do the G string. And last, got the D, and then got a little tension on the bridge. We can now release the strap and finish the setup. Check the center and make sure the bridge is standing, and you can go ahead and tune it up. But when you're tuning it up, make sure that you continue to check that the bridge is standing straight, because the strings are going to pull it at an angle and it can fall over in that process. So check it and correct it as you go, little by little. All right, hope that helps.